Well, greetings, people of the internet. Unky Joe here, Unky Joe's Playhouse. Today, my glasses were a little crooked there. Today, you're coming to work again with Unky Joe. That's right, it's another day in the life of an IT guy. Now, I haven't done one of these in a while. The reason is because I've been working on this particular client since January. We were given the go-ahead to do some major updates with this client, everything from upgrading spinning Rust to SSDs, doing some work on their firewall, rearranging what operating systems and upgrading some operating systems, for example, from Server 2012 to Server 2019. That, of course, involved moving all of their existing data over. They have Synology NASs on the network. We are also, in this video, going to be installing a remote Synology NAS unit. I'll talk about that as we go along for remote backups. So, quite a few upgrades. So, how about a little less talk and a little more action? We'll get the video started right now. All right, so day in the life. I have a couple things I need to do. This battery backup has got a bad battery in it. It's only an APC 350, so I'm going to retire it for now. Take the battery out and move it aside. And I have a 500 series here that I'm going to replace that with. I've ordered a new battery. The battery has come in. Mighty Max is what I get. So this is the APC ES 550. Now this is going to power all of their internet stuff. This Aris modem, their PoE switch, their 24-port Unify switch, PoE switch, all that is going to power it. So that's what we're going to change out today. And the other thing we're going to do is some maintenance. And we're going to install, I've got a camera, a webcam. It's a little cheap one. Good enough for Teams meetings and that kind of thing. So it's an HD webcam eMeet C960. It was pretty highly rated, so we'll see how it does. We've got one to install on this unit and one to install here in the conference room on this Dell. Now this Dell I also need to add a video card to and add a second monitor. They want to have a second monitor on here. So I've got a second video card, or I have an add-on video card that I can put in there. So what I'm going to use is this one at my desk here. And I don't even know which one what it is. I think it's a 7. I think it's an NVIDIA. It's an MSI NVIDIA 710, I think. Let me set this camera down and we'll take a look. See, I put my glasses on. Take a look. See. So it's got VGA, HDMI, and DVI out, as you can see. And this is a GT710 2 gig card. That's it right there. So GT. So it's an entry level card. You know. It'll give me the ability to do dual monitors. I had it laying around, so I brought it with me and decided just to let them have it and put it in there. So that's what I'm going to go get started on. I'm going to get the battery done first, then I'll do the video card, and then we'll do the cameras. I did go ahead and update the 3CX phone system to version 18. I also updated the firmware on all these GXP 2160 phones. If you're having any trouble with these phones ringing when there's no call coming in, it's because your firmware is the wrong version for 3CX. So you have to go through and update the firmware on them to get them to work. I've done that, now they've quit ringing. So I do have the battery backup in place for the switch and their cable modem and their fiber modem. I had to put it on the floor though, but I was able to run a power strip up to here and then I just zip tied it to the wall. So it's not going to go anywhere. Yeah, and it's, you know, it's pretty much done. I've got the new cameras installed. I went ahead and installed the new used video card in this Dell down here. So now they have dual monitors, and this is that USB webcam. It's a 1080p. It's not a bad looking webcam, and it even comes with a foldable little lid here so that, you know, people can't see you even if it's turned off. It's a nice little security feature. Logitech doesn't include that. And it's the simplest thing to do. Same way with this machine. I've got the new webcam installed. I also did a update on the BIOS, or I'm sorry, on the firmware on this phone. And there are two more here in the office that I did updates on. So all in all, I got here about 2 o'clock. It's now 5:40, I think. So a little over about 4 hours. So, you know, even those short trips can take some time, especially if you're sitting down and doing firmware updates and all that. Yeah, no, it's only 5 o'clock actually. Yeah, it's only 5 o'clock. So we'll stop the video here. So this time, before I went back out to the client, I went ahead and made some preparations just in case. I've had a lack of confidence in that Dell. I've loaned this client a Dell R210 Model 2 server to run as their firewall, pfSense firewall, and I've kind of lost, or had lost, faith in this thing over the past few months. I've had some issues with it. I was unable to, if you remember this unit, upgrade RAM in it from 4 to 8 gig. That was my fault, not the machine's, but I just wanted to be prepared. So I was telling the guys on Discord before I went out to the client this time, since I had about an hour of time remaining before I had to leave, why not build them a new firewall? I had plenty of parts here to do that with. So I've got some parts on hand. We're gonna build this client a new firewall, and we're gonna take that with us on this journey out there just to see if it's needed. We'll have it. Better safe than sorry. So just to take you along for the ride, this is the Dell R210. We did some work on this a while back. We put an SSD drive into it. We did some other stuff, upgraded the RAM. And so what I'm doing now is trying to reboot it because for whatever reason I cannot SSH into this. I cannot get into the web interface. So I told it to reboot the server, and this is what I'm getting. So we're going to give it a few minutes. We'll let it sit here and see if it actually reboots. Luckily, I made another PFSense machine. It's right here, and we're going to put it in place of this one. It's time to retire this machine. I've had too many squirrely problems happen with it. So wish me luck. I'll keep you posted. So in the next segment, what we're going to be talking about is some drive replacements, some issues we're having with their firewall out there, and what I think is the problem, what I think I'm going to do to overcome the problem. So, and this is actually another day. It could have been a couple of weeks later. I went back and started doing some more of this, some more work for this client. So you can't see it on the computer right now, but I'm doing a backup of one of my virtual machines under Proxmox, and right now what I have here are some SSD drives. So I've got a couple of super micro servers I'm going to be putting these into, and then I got these little adapter trays for them as well to go into the super micros. So that's what you're going to watch me put together here. Yeah, they're nicely made. They're not they're good quality construction. They're not a cheap little piece of metal or something. So I've had really good luck with Crucial SSDs, so I've just been kind of sticking with them. It's my SSD of choice. So basically, we're just going to slide this bad boy, put it on the tray, slide it into the connector, and then there is no place on the bottom to put screws, but there is to the side. Hopefully, my screwdriver. Oh yeah, it should. Alright, so that should work. Alright, so the fine thread screw should be for the SSD. Is that a fine thread? Yeah, it is. Alright, so that's one little problem. I don't have the dexterity in my fingers that I used to. You know, some people would say, why do you put all 4 screws in? You only need a couple. Yeah, well, they gave me 4 screws. I want to put 4 screws in. What can I say? I'm old-fashioned that way. Alright, so let's go over to the server now and take this. We're going to take our screws as well. And let's go over to the server and see what's going on over there. As you can see, my Dell, my firewall for my Dell has not powered off. So, ain't got much choice. We're going to turn it off. Okay, so now the super micro that I'm going to work on is the old one called HV1. It's 10.16. It's currently off. So let's pop out the hard drives. As you can see, we had a Western Digital Enterprise storage. Alright, remember it's 16 we're working on. You just saw me do that. I may have just crashed a customer server. Who knows? Let's see. There should be... Oh, there are other drives in here. 2 terabyte. And another... Nope, that one's empty. So good. Alright, so let's boot up the firewall again. So as usual, Tom is here with me today. Wave at everybody, Tom. Yeah, there we go. So let's go look at these servers. We're seeing ongoing updates to these servers, and this, you got to be prepared for something like this. Sometimes these things take time. Now, this is their old NAS. It was running 2012 R2. I have now upgraded that to 2019, server 2019, and I have put it down here on this server as a virtual machine. So this is PMI HV1, there's the IPMI. So this machine is now retired. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the hard drives and I'm going to label them, and we're going to keep these old spinning hard drives. And what we're going to do is replace it with one SSD drive, and this is going to become a new hypervisor machine to run some other stuff on. So it is powered off. Yep, I have verified that the data that was shared on it is no longer shared, but is still working. So now we're going to go ahead and pop these drives. Try to do this while I'm holding the camera. Here we go. Oh, it's always a pain getting these out. So there's a 2 terabyte. Here's another 2 terabyte. Another Hitachi 2 terabyte. And another Hitachi 2 terabyte. So these drives will be labeled properly. That's why I'm keeping them in order here. And then I'll put the SSD in here. So let me take this back to my desk. Alright, so I purchased specifically for these for this Super Micro. They make these adapter trays. I don't know, they're about $7 or $8. They're not bad. They're really well built. But basically, they allow you to put a 2.5-inch SSD drive into a Super Micro drive tray, and then you just, you slide it in and you go to work. The others are I don't have any blanks, the little blank things to put in there, so I'm going to do my best to get these seated in there. Well, that one's working better than that one. Yeah, come on now. They don't want to go back in here correctly, do they? Maybe we'll switch the two. So yeah, they don't work well when they don't have the little plastic inserts in them. That one, there we go. Just a matter of putting them in another slot. Alright. But Unky Joe, we can't see you doing it. Well, there you go. 1 in, 2 in, 3 in. And there's the SSD. Now, I need to do a firmware upgrade on this Super Micro, and I'll do that from my desk. Don't know that I'll show you, but I'll do that from my desk. And then I can install Windows Server 2019 on here as a hypervisor and get that configured, but I can do that remotely as well. So now, one of the next things I had to do, I thought was going to be the easiest task of my visits. It turned out it took every visit to get this done. And, I'm only a one-man band, so cut me some slack. And that is installing an SSD drive in a Dell Optiplex computer to replace the spinning hard drive. You would think it's trivial, it's easy. No. Well, for most of you it is, but then you give it to Unky Joe, and you all know the saying, if it's going to break, give it to Unky Joe, he'll break it. You're going to see it wasn't as easy as it should have been. And then we'll come around on the other side and we'll talk about why it was so hard. So here we have a slightly used Dell Optiplex 3020. And this is Aaron's machine, right? PMI 5, Aaron. The goal today is to get the hard drive out of here and put this in its place. I have one here somewhere. There's a Crucial MX500, 500 gig, and 2.5-inch, 3.5-inch drive bay adapter. So the object is to get it put in, just put it in there for now, transfer the data, and once that's done, then we can plug it back in and let the client have it again. So we got this machine torn asunder. It's the Dell Optiplex. As you can see, we just got the SSD hanging there. The old spinning hard drive. Yeah, I forgot how slow old spinning hard drives were. Let me remind you, they're very, very slow, which is the reason I'm replacing them as we go. I've got one here I need to replace, and then I need to order another one for this Dell lurking down here on the floor that is doing their shipping computer, because it is horribly slow as well. So eventually I'll get the software installed. And you notice it's also only using single channel RAM. Yeah, I hate this machine. Something that should be so very simple, transferring a spinning hard drive to an SSD drive, has turned into a huge pain in the ass. And I blame these fellows. See them? They're watching me. They're always watching me. They jinxed me. No, they're my buddies. They're here helping me. But so I plugged the SSD in. It was working fine. The operating system saw it. Then I tried to create a bootable ISO and put it on my Ventoy USB key. Booted off that, tried to do the transfer, the clone of the drive. It said it couldn't lock the C drive. It acted like it was booting off the operating system on the C drive. So I came back into Windows to make another USB stick without using Ventoy, without adding that to the mix. And now it doesn't see the frickin' SSD drive. Alright, so I've managed to create the USB key. Now let's see if it'll boot. Yeah, let's see if it boots. Now I don't hear the hard drive. I don't see a hard drive light, so I'm assuming that it's booting off of the USB key. Hey, I don't hear any hard drive clickety-clackities. And so this is the Windows PE, or pre-execution environment, I think is what it uses. So the whole goal with this thing is to, I've tried cloning this drive in while Windows is running. It's just no. I'll be a year older by the time it finishes. So that's why I'm going to go this route. And it was Jamie's idea to do this. So if it fails miserably again, I blame Jamie. No, it wasn't his idea. It was my idea, but he concurred with my idea. And great minds think alike, don't they, Jamie? Yeah, no comment. Yeah, it's definitely booting from USB because this is very slow. Okay, Acronis, I did that. Unable to lock the disk. Boot your computer from Linux-based bootable media and try again. I've done that. This is the Linux bootable media. Alright, so I've given up on Acronis and I've gone to EaseUS to do backup. And I'm using the clone utility. So it's going to take some time. It's telling me it's only got 3 minutes remaining, but you know, that's Microsoft time. So we'll let this run. Hopefully we won't run into this. I keep running into this drive locking issue, which, you know, in my way of thinking could indicate I've got a bad hard drive that I'm trying to clone from. But we'll let this run. I'm here till 4 o'clock at least today, so we'll let it run and see if it completes. And if not, I've got another utility I'll try before giving up and just clean loading this. So, alright, so while the clone continues, so far so good. I won't jinx myself. It's my little work area. I've kind of spread out. Here's my partners in crime right here. Wave boys. Do the wave. No, okay, stop that. I don't know why they're my friends. I don't know. They tolerate me. Okay, so the plan today is I'm going to be picking up this Dell that's in this office. See here somewhere. Actually, I think it's around the back of the desk. And we're going to put this, we're going to send this home with somebody. So I'm going to pick up this Dell today. And I'm going to get it set up for somebody to take to their home and use as their daily computer so they connect back in with the office here. So I need to get that ready, take that with me today. And then this NAS is the There's their primary NAS, the Synology, right there. And then this is the backup NAS. I've now had several completed backups from one NAS to another, so I'm going to be disconnecting that and taking that back to my home office with me today. And then this is the same client I put the new firewall in, the firewall that I built on a moment's notice. It's working well. And I've got the other Dell at home that I'm going to we'll be looking into. The reason the firewall was not working was there was some corruption in the setup. Because once I put this firewall in place and just did a basic setup, it worked fine. We got gigabit speed. However, when I restored the customer's backup from the pfSense, we got the slow speeds again. Then the other thing I noticed was the OpenVPN had been corrupted. So once I removed OpenVPN from the image, from the backup, then the speeds came back up. So at that point, I just said, you know what? I'll recreate all of the mappings and NAS stuff, or all the NAT stuff from scratch. So that's what I did. And then they've got the Dell here, which is currently running a lot of tasks. And then they've got the Super Micros here that will be moving some stuff around. That'll make for other videos. And then of course we got this is their Aris. They have Time Warner and they have Spectrum, and they have AT&T. AT&T is their primary. They get gigabit speed through fiber, and then Spectrum is their secondary setup. So yeah, and this is also the client I put the new UPS in. So yeah, working well. I'm glad I went ahead and built that firewall on the last minute's notice and brought it out here, because all the problems I was having went away, and I'll use that Dell R210 somewhere else. I lease these two pieces of equipment to Dell, and then the 2U above it are my equipment that I lease to the client as part of our managed services. All right, boys and girls, so there you are. You're witnessing it for yourself. The clone completed successfully. So I should be able to shut this unit down now and switch over to the SSD, and let's see if it'll boot. Alright, so here we are booting off the SSD. That thing booted up in about 10 seconds. Now let's see if I can't log in. My super secret password. Wouldn't that be a kick if my super secret password was super secret password? I think that would be funny. Okay, enough humor. Yeah, it's very speedy now. I like that. I like them speedy. All right, so there you go. Let's go into Task Manager. And yeah, much better. Looking good. Alright, so that was a success. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing buttoned back up and put back on the rack so the user can use it come Monday morning. And yeah, I'll let you see the finished product. So if you've never had to deal with these Dells before, they have these little trays. They're very fond of mounting the hard drives upside down. I like buying these steel 2.5 to 3.5 inch mounting kits. There's 2 to a box. I think they're about $8. Get them off Amazon. And I like the steel trays just better. I don't know why. Just do. Anyway, so the little tray looks like this. So on these Dell brackets, they have little rivets on each side. Well, rivets that go into the side where the screws go, and it holds them in. And then you mount your SSD. I've got a couple of screws in here. And just plug it in, and then it just slides in right like that. Make sure you keep that cable behind that rail so it doesn't get pinched. And plug your power in. Let's do that now. And there goes the power. And let's power on the machine, and we'll see if she boots. I said, yep, there she goes. All right. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 seconds to the login screen. Not bad. Job well done. Now, it's a shame this didn't happen several days ago or weeks ago when I was here. But this machine decided it just wanted to be a huge pain in the rear end. So now I can reassemble and put it back on the rack. Alright, so we got the unit back in the rack. So this is the unit. It was Aaron's unit right here. We got the SSD in it. You see I've got a unit here. 1, 2, 3 of these optiplexes, and then I got a couple more of these smaller optiplexes. And then of course the rest of the people come in on that machine there. So a very successful day. It's not 6 o'clock. That clock is wrong. The work here is done. So I'm gonna go spend some quality time with my spouse now, and maybe edit some videos. And that's it for this day in the life here. And we'll be doing some more stuff here as we move in servers around. Now that these have been up and running with their new SSD drives and new loads of Windows Server 2019. I can move forward with that project, so I'll take you along with me, but that's it for today. Yeah, so in the machine's defense on the SSD install, this machine had given me indications that it had some issues. In fact, before I replaced the SSD drive in here, I went ahead and deleted the client's user profile on this machine and set up a new one because we were having some issues, which is when I discovered this unit still had spinning rust hard drive and decided to go ahead and upgrade it. Now, you also learned a valuable lesson. Even though you can migrate a hard drive with the operating system running, you may run into the problems that I ran into, which was basically it couldn't lock the drive. It was a comedy of errors. So there you go. We hope you found the video entertaining and informative. As always, please give us a thumbs up down below if you liked it. Let's see, leave your comments down in the comments section. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and click that notification bell to be notified of new videos when they come out. Donate if you're so inclined. PayPal, Patreon, YouTube join function. And yes, we're back on Twitter. Thanks, Elon. Appreciate it. Anyway, we're back on Twitter. Go to our About section, and you'll see links there to our Twitter account back up and running. And hope to see you all there, as well on Discord and any other social media I'm on. So thanks again for coming to see us, and please don't forget, we'll see all of you on the other side.